just a short tutorial to show you this mixed media piece of artwork that I created that I will use as pages in my junk journal, like so. And I'm just going to talk you through the techniques and the materials that I used to create this piece. I have some white gesso on my white underpaper and I'm laying the black card down on top, smoothing it over just to pick some of that white gesso up randomly. Here I am just adding some black china marker, just random scribbles on both sides. I'm working on both sides of this piece of black card. Now I'm using a stencil with some black acrylic paint. Not a great deal of thought going on where the placement was of the stencil, and that's created some nice marks. And now I'm adding some white china marker, a few lines there. And now turning over and some more random scribbles with the white china marker. Now I'm using a red china marker, again random scribbles. Went a bit heavily there and broke the china marker, so I've just used the broken piece to carry on. Now I'm going to add some collage papers, so I've torn a strip here of a piece of scribbly writing and I've just pasting some white PVA glue, water-based glue, on the back to stick that down. And I also paste it over the top, it helps to adhere it even better. And now I'm going to stick down another piece of collage paper. Can't remember what one this is. Oh, it's just, again, a piece of white paper that had some scribbly marks on it. Now I've torn a piece of orangey red paper, just a piece of collage paper of my own that I've painted at some point in the past, and I'm sticking those down with the same glue. Sometimes I use a PVA glue and sometimes I might use a glue stick. You can use either. Now I'm turning over and I think I decide to add another piece of that orangey red collage paper on the other side. Oh, I've torn a strip this time, a long strip to paste on. I like to vary my shapes of collage papers. Sometimes they're torn, sometimes they might be cut out. Now I think I've just grabbed a piece of paper napkin and torn a piece out from the paper napkin. I believe it has some writing on it, and I'm pasting that on next. There's not really a great deal of thought goes into the placement. Just decide it will look nice there and stick it down. Now this is a piece of tissue paper that I think I just painted some wobbly ink stripes on. Notice I always paint over the top again with the paste. It makes everything stick down nicely. Probably having a look to decide what next, and I see I've picked up a piece of my paint palette, an old paint palette, and I tear pieces from it. I think I've decided to use a colourful piece, yes, a yellow piece by the looks of it, just to add a little bit more contrast in there. Oh, yellow and red. Just torn from my paint palette, an old paint palette, an old dried up piece of paint palette. Beginning to look a bit more interesting already. Again, I think I've torn another piece of my paint palette up here to add another piece on the back. So I will have a pile of collage papers to the side of me. We can't see them, they're off camera. And I'm just taking a look and choosing pieces at random that I think might look nice on this piece. Okay, now I've picked up some black acrylic ink. And I'm using the dropper just to spread a few lines of the acrylic ink, again randomly, over the artwork so far. And now I'm going to spray it with a water spray, I believe. So there I've just sprayed some water onto it, and I'm tipping it for the water to spread. There you can see it spreading a bit more, and I want it to drip around the piece of work, tipping it in different directions so that the drips go different ways. I'm not bothering to dry that piece. Doesn't matter if it smudges, it all adds to the randomness of the whole piece of artwork. And looks like I'm spreading some more of the black acrylic paint there. So maybe I'm about to give it another spray of water. Yes, I am, and a few more drips there. I'm probably having a think about what shall I do next. So I'm turning it over and having a little think. And I've decided, by the looks of it, to add some red acrylic paint. And in this time, I've just added a few dots of the red paint. And again, on the other side, I believe I will do some more. Letting that drip a bit as well. And now I've decided to add another piece of collage paper, and until I turn it over, I can't remember what it is. Oh, that's right, it was a piece of, actually that was a piece of an old greetings card envelope, just white dots on a black background. Having another think here, what shall I do next? And this is a piece of tissue paper, again with those random ink lines that I've drawn on there, and I'm using my PVA glue again. This time I've decided to spread it with my fingers for some reason. Sometimes I might do it with a brush or a sponge or fingers. It really doesn't matter. I've laid that down on top of the PVA glue, just easing out any wrinkles in the tissue paper. Now I've picked up a stencil, some dots, and I've used a makeup sponge and black acrylic paint just to get the paint through the stencil there randomly. Everything's random, as you can hear. I don't think too much about it. Obviously wanted the black as a nice contrast against the white, so I chose a white area to do the stencil on with the black. Turned it over, and I think I'm about to add some more dots with that black stencil. And you can see the piece is beginning to look a lot more interesting now. I've got dots and stripes and squiggles. Right, now I'm using a hand-carved eraser with black acrylic paint. I've just carved those shapes out of an eraser, and I've put some black acrylic paint on, and I'm just pressing the eraser onto the artwork to get those shapes there. Probably having a think about what to do next. And I've picked up a red crayon, and I've just crayoned a few circly squiggles, some lines. I obviously decided I needed a little bit more red in there. And some red circles, and I've chosen to do them on a white area so that they show up a bit more. At this stage I decided that there maybe was too much black on there, so I am rolling on some white gesso. So I'm using a roller just to add some white gesso there. See, the glue stuck to the back paper a little bit there, but it doesn't matter. And again, some more white gesso just rolled on over a couple of black areas. And a little bit more there on the edge. Okay, that was a black China marker, and again some random scribbles using the China marker. You can see I like to make lots of areas that have contrast, black on white, white on black, red on white, red on black, but just lots of contrast in there. I don't want any large areas of one colour. Some more scribbles there. And I think I'm coming towards the end now, and obviously decided that I needed a little bit more red there. So I've picked up a piece of red tissue paper and cut out a piece. And this time I'm using a glue stick to stick that on. So I've stuck that on the edge there. And you can see some of the black and white creeping through the tissue paper underneath. So you get a glimmer of it underneath. I think we're nearing the end now. Trying to decide whether to add another piece of collage paper. I think I decided against that. And now I'm trying a piece of black and white tissue paper. Yes, with the ink squiggles on, and I think I decide to go with this piece. So I'm just laying it out on different areas, deciding where to put it. Obviously decided it's going there, and I'm going to put that piece down, as you can see, with a glue stick. I haven't used the PVA glue on this occasion. Sometimes I use the glue, sometimes I use the paste. And there you have it. That's the finished piece. I've folded it in half, and you can see it will make book pages in one of my junk journals. And these are the 4 pages that I've created using all those mixed media ideas. If you have any questions about my techniques or materials, just leave me a comment below. Please give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed watching, and you may like to subscribe to my channel to see more.